here in Chicago, Illinois, and just to the north, the friendly confines of Wrigley Field, where the ongoing construction helps to make the confines a little friendlier. Pirates looking to construct a win today over the Cubs in Game 3 of this 3-game series. Hi again, everybody. I'm Tim Neverett. Steve Blass with us here, filling in for Bob Walk this weekend. Good to have you back here at Wrigley Field. Been a while.
It's great. A lot of memories here. Mostly good. A few challenges along the way with the Cub hitters, but it's good to be back.
We'll get more on Steve's memories coming up a bit later, but yesterday some memories were made, not necessarily great ones. Sean Rodriguez had a good one. First pitch fastball tied the game at 1 in the top of the 3rd inning. Second home run of the year for him. And then with Bryant at third base, Jay Hay, a possible double play ball, couldn't pull it off. Turned out to be a fielder's choice for Castro. Bryant scores, and that gave the Cubs a 2-1 lead. Garrett Cole striking out Jorge Soler. David Ross got a good look at strike 3, and so did John Lester. 3 punch-outs looking in the bottom of the 4th for Cole. In the top of the 7th, John Lester facing Andrew McCutchen. 2 runners on base. Ooh, that was strike 3 called. Cubs still lead it 2-1. And in the bottom of the 7th, Archimedes Caminero on the pitch. A wild pitch. Dexter Fowler scores. Cubs would lead it 3-1. Runners on 2nd and 3rd. Top of the 8th inning. Pedro Alvarez facing Jason Mott would strike out as a pinch hitter, and the Cubs would go on to win the ball game by a 4-1 score. And Steve, the Cubs have kind of turned things around, at least to this point in the season, largely because of their young hitters.
Yeah, they've done it very, very quickly. They've got quite a cast around the infield when you talk about Chris Bryant, then Starlin Castro, Addison Russell, and Anthony Rizzo. This is a group that has turned the Cubs into a very struggling older team into a very competitive younger team, and they have not taken very long to do it. It's been a very, very impressive turnaround for this ball club.
A.J. Burnett will try to slow down those 3 along with the rest of the Cubs lineup. When we come back, we will take a walk down memory lane. Steve Blass with some great Wrigley Field memories. Don't miss it. Cubs and Pirates, Game 3 coming up. in Chicago. Pirates and Cubs getting ready for Game 3 of this 3-game series. Earlier this morning, Steve and I had a chance to walk around Wrigley before anybody got here and relive some memories.
Steve, today we're taking viewers to a place they never get to see. This is the Labyrinth, the long walk from the clubhouse down to the
Green Mile. Yeah. The catacombs. There used to be stalactites and stalagmites. It's all painted now, so it looks as good as it can. But this is a scary place, especially for a young pitcher, because I remember coming here as a rookie in 1964, and I'd heard all about Wrigley Field and Mystique and the friendly confines. But I didn't know you had to walk the Green Mile. I mean, I don't know whether I'm going to an execution, which happened on occasion, or whether I was going to see some gorgeous thing that I'd heard so much about. So it was fascinating the first time I made this little trip down here. And I got to this point, and I was telling somebody who was walking, I said, "You mean there's more? We're not there yet? This is not the dugout." So it was interesting, but now a flood of memories, so much of not only the hallway and the catacombs and the small clubhouse, but just all the things that happened here. 10 years of pitching and playing here with Hall of Famers and pitching against Hall of Famers. So it is kind of a flood.
Still have a ways to go to get to the dugouts.
Yeah, I remember that part. But one thing hasn't changed. It was always exciting walking down here, but I had some very long walks back up there because Billy Williams, Ron Santo, all those guys, Fergie Jenkins, Randy Hundley, they had some very strong ball clubs then. So the walk down, even though it's a little scary and mysterious the first time, the walk back up, not good.
Not twice as long?
But the fascinating thing, when you get out here, it's like people going to Pittsburgh and going through the Fort Pitt Tunnel. All of a sudden, you start coming up here, and there it is. There's Wrigley Field all in front of you, like downtown Pittsburgh after the Fort Pitt Tunnel. And there is Wrigley Field, the historic, classic baseball field. And as a rookie in 1964, it was an image that I still have embedded. It's still a great look. Here's another thing, Tim. After I was here for a while, I'd get to this step if I was starting, as every starting visiting pitcher would do. You'd take the third step and you'd look at the flags. How are things going to be today at Wrigley? Because when they're blowing out, it is not much fun to be pitching here. So that became a kind of an automatic, like a knee-jerk thing. You survived the tunnel. Now, are you going to survive the wind?
It's a different ballpark when the wind blows in as opposed to when it blows out.
Oh, yeah. And many times you can tell on the bus, the visiting bus, the starting pitcher, if he sees the flags from the bus, he might not get off the bus if they're blowing out.
Steve, when's the last time you've taken this walk across the foul line out to the mound?
I know exactly when it was. In 1973, when I was struggling so very much. I came out here trying to get it back together. It still wasn't working. But it's funny because the mystique when you're really pitching and you're involved in it and you're pitching well and part of the bigger picture, the mystique all goes away because you've been trained and developed. It still is that walk from a dugout out to the mound. It's going to be 60 feet 6 inches, and all the perimeter stuff goes away as it should as a major league ball player. So it's kind of neat if you're not pitching on that day or you're just out here visiting to come out here. Because I know today Billy Williams is not in there. I know Ron Santo's not in there.
Good thing for you.
But it's still it brings, if I walk onto a major league mound, it still brings it back.
Yeah, how does it make you feel being out here right now?
Well, it makes me feel like home plate is 250 feet away instead of 60 feet 6 inches. But I had great days here. I had days that weren't so great. Actually, more good than bad because we had such a great hitting team. We used to pound on the Cubs. And but it's a wonderful look now to be able to take it in without having to think about pitching. It's still now on this visit today, it brings back all the mystique and all the things about Wrigley Field that a lot of people love, including myself. I love the old ballparks. I love the Fenways. I love the Forbes. I love the Wrigleys, and I don't know. It makes me feel like a kid again. I'm on a major league field. This is pretty slick.
Well, Steve, being back at this old yard brings back a lot of memories for you, I'm sure. There's going to be a lot more memories to be made, but your thoughts after not being back here in a long time. What's your takeaway from today?
Well, it's a wonderful trip back because I broadcast for a lot of years, but it's not like being down on the field, seeing the ivy and looking back at the press box that you always saw when you were playing. So it's a wonderful feel. It's so neat being around a place like Wrigley. It has the history involved. It's one of the reasons they call it the big leagues. This is a very special place for Major League Baseball, and they're making changes now, and you have to keep current. The world is different than it was back then. But in terms of nostalgia, it's a neat trip back. It's a wonderful walk in the park, as they say.
Well, you can hear the changes and see the changes over there being made, and there'll be plenty more memories to be made here in the future.
Yep, and we'll look forward to Pirates being a big, big part of it.
A great walk in the park with Steve Blass. We'll have more throughout the game of Steve's memories. Meantime, we'll take a look at the starting pitchers when we come back to Wrigley Field after this on Root Sports. Final game of this three-game set. The Pirates starting pitcher, A.J. Burnett. He has gone 7-4 in 14 starts against the Cubs, but he's been off to a terrific start this season. No more than 2 runs has he given up over his first 7 starts.
Well, Tim, I don't know if I've seen him better. He's had the sharp curve ball, and he's still got enough left in the tank to keep honest with the fastball. And he's been around long enough, Tim, to never be trapped in the environment that we see at Wrigley Field. A lot of guys think they have to change their style instead, completely downstairs. He doesn't fall into that trap. He's been around too long, but he's been as good as I've seen him. So he has been terrific. He's the man we need today.
Battle of right-handers, Jake Arrieta. He is 4-0 against the Pirates in his career. He had a good outing on Tuesday against the Mets, 8 innings and 10 strikeouts.
I think he loves Chicago. He came over here from Baltimore with decent numbers, but he really got it turned around. 10-5 last year. He's pitching extremely well. He's coming off an absolutely wonderful start against the New York Mets. The Pirates going to have a handful against Jake Arrieta.
Jake Arrieta for the Cubs, and for the Pirates, it'll be A.J. Burnett. The Bucks trying to end a 4-game losing skid today here in Chicago. The lineups and the first pitch coming up from Wrigley in a moment. Game series, and Pirates needing to find a way to scratch across some more runs. Yesterday they left too many men on base.
Yeah, and they need to play a cleaner ball game. They made 3 errors. It got ugly in the bottom of the 7th. Garrett Cole pitched well enough to win. As you look at A.J. Burnett, he certainly has pitched well enough. A.J. Burnett could be 7-0. Let's just be honest about it. You don't give up any more than 2 runs to start. So, yeah, they need to clean it up defensively. The bullpen needs to tighten up. That's become a little bit of a sore spot. It's come unraveled to a certain degree. But one win certainly changes everything. You don't want to get swept anywhere. And you'd like to go home with a W to play a couple quick games against the Minnesota Twins.
Jake Arrieta and the Cubs have taken the field, and the Pirates will line up this way today as far as the batting order goes. Brought to you by Toyota. Polanco, along with Walker and McCutchen. Marte batting 4th. Jung Ho batting 5th. Another 3-hit game yesterday for him. Hitting .346, 6 RBIs and 3 doubles. Pedro back at 1st. Harrison in the 7th spot. Cervelli hitting 8th, and Burnett will bat 9th. Against the Cub right-hander, Jake Arrieta.
He was pitching extremely well, coming over, as we said, from the Baltimore Orioles a couple years ago. The 7 starts, even 3 ERA, and we talked about coming off his last start against the Mets, where he worked 8 innings, just 3 hits, a run. He struck out 10. He's a 10-game winner back in the day 4 years ago with the Orioles, but he had a 5.05 ERA. Last year, 10-5 with the Cubbies and a 2.50 ERA. So he has found something out, and whatever it is, it certainly is working for him.
The defense behind Arrieta, brought to you by Honda. First base anchored by that man. Anthony Rizzo is having a terrific year offensively. We got Russell, Castro, and Bryant around the infield. Montero, third catcher in 3 days for the Cubs. Coughlin, Fowler, and Soler in the outfield for Chicago. Chris Bryant batting in the 2 spot. The rookie has been absolutely outstanding and has come as advertised for the Cubs. And second baseman Addison Russell stealing a hit from Neil Walker in a key situation where the Pirates would have scored a run. But what a play he made diving out in short center field yesterday.
I've heard a lot of Cubs people talking about Addison Russell, saying that he is going to be a multi-all-star player. You might see him at shortstop at some point in his career, but they absolutely love him. He has not gotten as many headlines as the other guys because he has not been hitting like the other 2 guys, Rizzo and Bryant. But don't forget that name.
Rivers Casino tips to win for today, Steve.
Yep, support. Come on, score some runs for AJ. He could be 7-0. Give him some love with the bats. Stop the Cubs' running game. They're number 2 in the league in team steals.
All right, Gregory Polanco standing in. Jake Arrieta's ready, and we're ready to go here. Overcast skies today at Wrigley Field. And the first pitch is up and out for ball 1. A little different look with the sky. We had blue skies the last 2 days. A little overcast. They're expecting some possible rain in the area later this afternoon. 2 balls and no strikes.
Yeah, we've got to clean up the program because the horribly unfortunate play in right field on Friday was a devastating end, and then it got ugly late yesterday afternoon. We got to play a good baseball game, clear the air a little bit.
2-1 to Polanco. They're hitting 250. Home run, 11 runs batted in. Clint Hurdle likes this lineup. Josh Harrison is going again, and having him at the bottom part of the order could be a benefit for the Pirates. And Jung Ho Gung in the middle of it, along with starting Marte, each with 3 hit games yesterday.
But you've got to come at the right time. Set up shop yesterday afternoon, late in the ball game. 2nd and 3rd, nobody out. Not get a run in.
2-ball, 2-strike pitch. It's 3-2.
Arrieta thought it was a strike. Mr. Montero thought it was a strike. W.B. Mason, strike zone, said it was not a strike. Good call by Chad Fairchild, home plate umpire.
Payoff pitch to Polanco now. Struck him out.
And a breaking ball, that's a confident pitcher throwing a breaking ball 3-2 pitch right away in the ballgame. Might have been under the strike zone. These breaking balls are hard to lay off. You don't want to be called out on strikes, but go back to the W.B. Mason strike zone. And, yep, would have been ball 4, but that's hard to take. That's grinding down, and it's looking like it's going to be a strike for a long time.
Polanco is out, 1 away in the top of the 1st inning. Neil Walker batted in the 2 spot yesterday, hitting right-handed. Slaps this one down to Chris Bryant. 2 down. Yesterday, John Lester came in and pumped in first pitch strike after first pitch strike. And Pirates were taking a lot of pitches. And Neil Walker goes after the first pitch here today. I talked to Clint about that. He said it's not about the fact it's a strike, it's where it is. It's the location of the strike. So he said don't get caught up in the first pitch strike stuff. Yes, it's a strike, but is it the pitch you want to hit? So McCutchen takes upstairs. One-0 to Andrew. And he hits this one toward the gap in right center field. Dexter Fowler dives and makes a tremendous catch. Highway robbery in right center field as Dexter Fowler steals a hit from Andrew McCutchen. Wow. Nothing across for the Pirates in the 1st.
is brought to you by Toyota. Toyota helps you get the most out of your drive. Just ask a friend who drives one. Toyota, let's go places. By Barrel Automotive, we're driven to be better. And by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you. Let's go Bucks.
Well, Andrew McCutchen thought he had a base hit, but Dexter Fowler took it away with a diving grab. He laid out full extension and ended up getting it in the end of the webbing of the gloves.
It's a great catch. Look at that glove, how big it is. It looks like a bear trap. You know, you're talking about the Cubs, maybe bears, maybe, but there's a lot of leather. How many cows died for that thing? I mean, you can't get away. It's bigger than a truck. Measure that glove. But you can't deny it's a great catch. Terrific catch.
Dexter Fowler will lead off for the Cubs in the bottom of the first inning.
It always happens that way. A guy makes a good play, starts the ball game off at the bottom of the first.
Well, Fowler did that to McCutchen at PNC Park earlier this year, too. They joked about it the next day because Fowler ended up getting one that Kutch couldn't get to. First ball swing to the gap in left center field. Kutch going after it, and he runs right in front of Marte and makes the catch.
Oh, yeah, he's going to run him off. He's going to make that catch. That's just payback.
The lineup for the Cubs, written up by Joe Madden, brought to you by Honda. Fowler, Chris Bryant, Anthony Rizzo, 9-game hitting streak currently. Castro, Montero, Soler, Coghlan, the pitcher, Arrieta batting 8th, with Addison Russell batting 9th.
Against A.J. Burnett, making his 8th start. Numbers for A.J. brought to you by Hyundai. That should be, all those numbers are good except the one loss record. It should be 5-1, 6-1 at least, maybe 7-0.
In 7 straight starts, he has not allowed more than 2 runs in any of his first 7 starts. He has tied a franchise record set by the man you're filling in for this weekend, Bob Walk, in 1988. Bob had his first 7 starts without allowing more than 2 runs. Chris Bryant, a swing and a miss.
And guess who broke that string for Bob? He's sitting next door to us, Jim Deshaies, who's with the Houston Astros. We'll speak to him about that later. Yeah. It will be addressed.
1-1. That's outside. 2-1.
By the way, speaking of Robert, congratulations to the whole Walk family. Ronnie getting married yesterday.
Yes.
Congratulations to the whole family. Good stuff.
2-1 pitch. And Bryant lines it past a diving Jung Ho Kang. A base hit for Bryant.
Just out of the reach. Jung Ho is a little taller, a little more reach. It's a brilliant play. Gave it a good effort.
Like he had a good jump on it.
Not quite far enough.
Well, Chris Bryant at first base. This was the problem yesterday. Bryant got aboard in the first and the third, and in both innings, Rizzo would come up with a base hit to get Bryant from first to third. Bryant would end up scoring both of those Cub runs, which turned out to be enough.
The legitimate runs.
Yeah, enough to win it. So really hopping on it quickly enough, but Bryant didn't go.
You gonna talk that one over on a sign mix-up or not? It doesn't look like it.
Well, I want to get rid of that ball.
Yeah, I would.
Too much air under it.
Have it measured. Might have been deflated too much. Taking the air out of it. Pumped up too much. Too much air.
I haven't heard any talk on that story recently.
Well, I'm a big Tom Brady fan. I think it's a lot to do about nothing. Enough of a personal commentary, I think.
We can talk about that a lot later.
September, October.
1-0 pitch. Rizzo swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. Rizzo tops on the planet in on-base percentage, .469. Leading Major League Baseball. Bryce Harper, the Nationals, second. He's on his heels. .467. 1-1 pitch. That's outside. Barrel Automotive league leader stat. First in on base percentage for Anthony Rizzo. Third in batting average. Fourth in hits. Fifth in slugging percentage. He's a top 5 guy right now. 14 multi-hit games. 2-1. Swing and a miss there. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Upstairs. A.J. Burnett early in his career was 6-0 against the Cubs. It's been a little bit of a struggle since then. 1-4 since then. Overall 7-4. Certainly no stranger. Career start number 15.
Rizzo's hit Burnett in the past at a 261 clip. 6 for 23, 2 home runs.
This was kind of the pioneer, the first guy that kind of got here to say, okay, the Cubs may be really serious about getting this thing turned around. So he was a little earlier, obviously, than Brian, who arrived this year. Certainly earlier than Russell.
Rizzo this spring went on the record saying the Cubs were going to win the division this year.
Hey, everybody's going to win the division, aren't they, in the spring?
Absolutely. Runner goes, and this ball is popped up. Going after it, McCutchen will make the catch. And back to first goes Bryant.
A couple balls up in the air. We saw A.J. get a couple balls past Rizzo upstairs. But you're playing with fire today. There's a brisk wind blowing across from right to left. And that's going to help everything from kind of right center all the way around to the left field foul pole. That ball is up. Didn't get enough of it. But you're going to have some excitement with balls up in the air this afternoon.
Winds today out of the southeast at 23 miles an hour.
There's some serious numbers there.
Williams, Sandberg, Maddox.
All over the place, there's serious numbers.
Starlin Castro takes outside, ball 1. Castro scored the game-winning run in the 12th inning Friday. Gregory Polanco fell in right field, caught a spike, and he couldn't get to the baseball as a result. Strike 1 to Castro.
You know, the way he stumbled, it's lucky he didn't break an ankle. But, you know, as that thing went on and on, because he slipped and then just got all tangled.
Well, there's a deep divot. We were out earlier today walking around. We can still see it 2 days later. Swing and a miss by Castro. It's 1-2.
Is that
right around there? See right around that area.
Yeah. I feel like Scrooge. Please, I don't want to see it anymore.
1-2. Bryant goes, and then foul ball by Castro.
Yeah, you're exactly right. What you saw exactly because we were out there doing some filming, some stuff, and you could see it wasn't just a top slide. There was some depth to it. Got him 1-2. Let's see if we see the big sweeping curveball again. Bad swing earlier in the bat from Castro. It always goes into the file.
Castro had an RBI yesterday. Sacrifice fly in the first inning. You got that's Bryant out.
Outside heat. Upstairs. I thought A.J. might have a game plan of trying to keep the ball downstairs all the time, but he has thrown a lot of high fastballs here in the first inning.
Well, with 2 strikes, he relies on his fastball quite a bit. You can see what he's done on 1-2 counts against everybody. Or the curveball a little bit more on 1-2 counts.
Well, let's see if he went up the stairs and maybe even just set that up and maybe not try to get a swing. He got himself in a situation where it looks like it might be an occasion to call for the hook.
And he wants a visit with Cervelli.
I'm not sure. Was that a pickoff sign? Yeah.
Looked like it.
Maybe I didn't see any fingers dropping. I saw kind of a fist or some knuckles. I didn't see any fingers, so maybe they want to see what's going on there. I used to love to call Sangy out situation like this because it gets the hitter thinking, so it can confuse them. And when Sangy came out, it would confuse me also. So 2 out of 3 being confused, I thought, gave you a little bit of an edge.
There's the 1-2 again. Bryant goes, and Castro strikes out. So A.J. gets him. That's strikeout number 1 for Burnett. No score after an inning at Wrigley Field.
Like 3 weeks, and I came out to start a ball game, and Leo DeRocher, my favorite buddy, my really close friend, had the ground crew out here with 3 hoses. This place was a quagmire. By the time I got up on the mound, I mean, I was like swamp people. I needed rubber boots, and it was just one of Leo's favorite things.
Yeah, he did those kind of things. That's one of the many reasons I hated him.
He was out to get you.
He was out to get everybody. Nice guys finish last. Well, that's a great thing to live by. You know, words to live by. Leo tried every trick in the book. My rookie game against the Dodgers, he was third base coach. He called me things I hadn't learned yet in the English language. I loved the man. I loved it. Unfortunately, Leo passed.
Starling Marte at the plate now to start the 2nd inning. How'd you do that game, by the way?
You know that long walk back up the tunnel you're talking about when it's not so much fun?
That's right. Yeah. So it took you an hour and a half to get back to the labyrinth.
It wasn't my fault. It was Leo's fault.
No excuses.
That's right. It's the big leagues.
1-2. Did you have to go on the grass and warm up because it was too muddy, or what did you do?
See, you're asking me about a story I made up. No, not really. We warmed up over on the side, along the right field line.
Marte, a little bouncer to Rizzo. Arrieta covering, close play, and called out. Bang, bang play. Clint Hurdle coming up the dugout steps.
Marte's going to win a few of those. He's not able to win that one. At least that's what we think so far, and that decision will be standing. You knew it was going to be interesting because of his speed.
Just got it. Joyce on the call.
As umpires are, in spite of the review and the replay, these umpires are pretty darn good.
Good look from the Allegheny Health Network Super Mode there. No swing for Jung Ho, and it's a ball 1-0 for the Pirates shortstop. Jim Joyce, crew chief behind the plate. Chad Fairchild, Marcus Patillo, and Chris Siegel are their umpires. 1-1 the count. Greg Gibson, who was behind the plate Friday for that 5-hour and 1-minute marathon, he got nicked up a little bit in that game, so he's been given a couple of days off to recover. 1-2 pitch. He's following.
Speaking of that day, and Bob Walk, thanks, Bob, for allowing me to come to Chicago and sit there for 5 hours.
In 1 minute.
In 1 minute. Well, you were preparing everybody for the wedding. 5 hours. I know he was giggling too. I know he was.
Well, if you were wired for wireless, he would have sent you a picture from the wedding like he did for the rest of us. A nice picture.
Yeah.
With Pedro on deck. 2-2. Jung-Ho down to third. Bryant spins. Goes on to first, and safe at first is Jung-Ho gone.
Well, Mr. Bryant, a little casual approach after he got that ball.
And Joe Madden is up on the top step.
And I would think he's a young player, and I would think that right in his mind, yeah, I shouldn't have taken so much time after I got the ball in my glove. You see with the ball in the back of the glove on that shot, you know, if the ball's in the glove or getting to it. There you go. Okay, good luck.
Boy,
nice, good talk.
Supermo,
good talk.
Giving us a good look. And
giving us a call.
Yeah, that will not be reviewed. So Jung-Ho is aboard. Base hit for him. Jung-Ho did a little umpiring too, did you see?
Yep.
Made the safe
Slap sound, yep.
Came across the back. So Pedro with a strike taken. Pedro struck out yesterday as a pinch hitter. Back starting at first base today. A .216 average. 6 home runs. 5 of the 6 have been during day games. Snap throw back to first base.
Safe again.
And Montero using Alvarez as a shield. And throwing right behind him.
This one's a little easier to call. By the way, talk about home runs. Arrieta has only given up 2 home runs in 7 starts. 4 of them have been here in the home run hitters park. 4 of those starts.
Already seeing number 1-2 counts in this game. 2 strike counts, both sides. Jung-Ho leads at first. And Arrieta will deliver to Alvarez. 2-2. Yesterday, the Pirates were taking off on John Lester early, the lefty, because he just doesn't like to throw to first base, and they know it. A different story today with the right-hander Arrieta up there, and Arrieta will throw to first.
Yeah, that's part of your responsibilities, I think. Mr. Lester doesn't agree.
In fact, I don't believe he threw to first base once yesterday. 3-2.
There was a 3-2 pitch thrown to Polanco to start off the ball game. It was a curveball downstairs. He got the swing and the miss. No guarantee. His control has been very, very good. Very good.
This is a slider lot in full counts. He did that to Polanco in a full count in the first. There goes Jung-Ho, and Pedro hits one toward left center field. That's going to be down. Jung-Ho around second, and he is into third base, and Pedro with a base hit. Back-to-back singles in the second.
Good job for Pedro to stay with it. Just dropped it into left center field. Plenty of time for one to get around to third. Another 90 miles an hour.
Some late movement on it.
then the Pirates set up shop. But until they start cashing these in, I don't think we need to get too excited. We got to kind of break some scar tissue and just open things up.
In yesterday's game, this was the case with 2 on and less than 2 outs a number of times. The Pirates failed to cash in, but hopefully today is a different day.
Especially later on when they were setting up shop for second and third with nobody out. Nobody out. New day. It's a new day.
Dung at third, Pedro Alvarez at first, Josh Harrison, an 0-1 pitch from Arrieta. And it's 0-2. And you really would love to do something with 1 out and a runner at third. There are a lot more options available to you. Sacrifice fly would be in play. Bucks managed just 1 run yesterday. It was on a solo homer by Sean Rodriguez. This one is poked to Addison Russell.
What he did yesterday, made a terrific play when the Pirates were mounting a threat. Now this is going to be a good baseball player.
Arrieta now will face the Pirate catcher Francisco Cervelli. Well, he didn't play yesterday, but 2 days ago he went 3 for 6 with a double and 4 runs batted.
I think the only problem with Addison Russell right now when he calls home is going to say, hey folks, I'm batting ninth and batting back to the pitcher. That's not a great call to be able to make.
Still in the lineup. Strike to Cervelli. Season high 3 hits on Friday. .281 the average, a pretty respectable batting average. Still looking for that first home run.
Good day for it here.
Ball and a strike.
You're not going to look for many free passes from Arrieta. He's had 7 starts. He's walked 10 batters. And 1 more. That was an intentional. I don't count those. So his control has been outstanding.
Arrieta got the win on the 20th of April against the Pirates. That was opposite A.J. Burnett. Burnett ended up with a no decision in that game. And A.J. on deck. 2 on, 2 out. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Cervelli. He strikes out. Pirates leave 2 men on. And after an inning and a half, scoreless on the north side of Chicago.
Tonight's baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by the Chevy Equinox and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Day Automotive. We're going to make your day. Let's go Bucks!
Cubbies coming to bat for the second time this afternoon at Wrigley. I'm Robbie. It's Mikowski. As you know, each and every Tuesday is Twitter Tuesday here on Root Sports, and you can have your questions asked by a Pirates player. And with the off day tomorrow, we're going to tell you now who Tuesday's guest is. It's the super utility guy, Sean Rodriguez, going to be taking your questions. He's got a really cool story behind him, plays all kinds of positions. He's got 4 kids. He came up with the Anaheim Angels, played for the Rays, and here he is in a Buccos uniform. Send him your questions. You have to use the hashtag BucksTuesday to get your question considered to go on the airwaves. Sean Rodriguez, Tim and Steve.
All right.
Interesting guy.
I saw Robbie on TV last night. Old movie, The Man in the Gray Flannel Suit.
Is that right?
Yeah. Looking good today.
Pretty good after being in the movies last night. Miguel Montero, line shot to center field. And the Cub catcher leads off the bottom of the second with a single. Second hit for the Cubs.
Saw AJ making the sign every pitcher is conditioned to do. Man on first, find out who's going to take the throw. It's a double play opportunity if the ball's hit back to you. That's probably one of the first things you learn.
Jorge Soler, 281. Yesterday went 2 for 3, was hit by a pitch. Takes ball 1. I know this has been a nice weekend for you, Steve. It's been 11 years since you broadcast a game here at Wrigley, you told me.
Yeah.
Here comes the 1-0. Now it's even, 1-1.
Breaking ball inside, but in the zone.
So I know you've been here once before for a sponsor trip, but 11 years ago, ballpark looked a little different. I know when I talked to you Friday, I said, "What do you think?" You said, "I hate it." Is it growing on you?
Well, I know you have to keep up, but there's something special about the simplicity of this ballpark that has been compromised with those big scoreboards. And I know, you need to have them, so I'm okay with them. It's just, it's a different feel for me here. But it's a special place. Just give that as a bottom line.
1 ball, 2 strike pitch to Soler from Burnett. Yesterday, the largest crowd of the season was here, 38,883. And once they get those right field bleachers open, and if the Cubs continue to play like they're playing, it will pack them in here this summer.
Well, they've got a foundation for a very good baseball team, and that's going to be around a long time if they decide to keep everybody intact. They're going to have to shore up their pitching. They're going to have to flesh that out, but there aren't too many holes that need to be filled right now with their position people.
Strike 3. Soler goes down looking. 2 strikeouts for Burnett. And Robbie, you got a little bit more information on the video board, right?
Yeah, Steve was just talking about it. It's 42 by 95 feet in size, and it's colored green on purpose to blend in with the seats and the new bleachers, obviously. Now, the neatest thing about it is that none of the info on the new video board is the same as the iconic scoreboard in center field. The Cubs didn't put there to compete for eyeballs, so nothing that you find in center field is anything you're going to find in the scoreboard on left field, and presumably on right field as well as they keep the lineups on the right field scoreboard. The unique thing was the timing. With the delayed opening of the left field bleachers, it gave the Cubs, Steve, you'll appreciate this, a chance to pay tribute to Mr. Cub, Ernie Banks. On opening night, they covered up the bleachers with banners to honor Mr. Banks.
Well, that's certainly very appropriate, but I'll go back to what you said originally, coming from the Cubs, not from Robbie. If you tell me those things blend in.
Well, they're similar color to the center field scoreboard, so they're uniform in color.
Yeah, it's like saying their batting helmets blend in with the sky.
2 balls, no strikes to the left fielder, Chris Coghlan. He pops this one up. Long run for McCutchen, and he makes the sliding catch. Throw back to first base, and they got him a double play.
How about that? Andrew coming a long way, got down on the knee, and then an accurate throw to first base. That's cleaning things up.
That's the third outfield assist this year for McCutchen.
And
Andrew, one hop rocket to Pedro.
Yeah, there's the throw, and he had a late start. It was a big swing and not much happening, but he cleaned it up beautifully. 8-3.
Top of the third, Andrew McCutchen doubling off Miguel Montero. He run a long way to make this catch first, Steve.
Yeah, I think that was the big part of the play, because that was one of those big swings where the ball didn't go anywhere. So you almost flinch before you make the move to come in, but he outran the baseball in the outfield, and then the throw right on the money.
And that is our Chick-fil-A double play.
Like it. Pretty play.
They're in plenty of time.
Beautiful.
Andrew McCutchen helps the starting pitcher with that play. And we'll start the third inning. A.J. Burnett will lead off. We'll see his counterpart. Takes a strike.
Still talking about volume of hits as opposed to timely hits. You can get 12, 15 hits, but if they're not at the right time, you're not doing much. It's those people that come across home plate. You want base runners, but they'll chase them around.
0-2 pitch. 1 ball and 2 strikes. As I mentioned, that was the third outfield assist for McCutchen this year. Pirates outfielders tied for 4th in the National League with 7 assists. McCutchen with 3 of them. And AJ strikes out looking. So 1 gone. That is strikeout number 3 for Arrieta. Garrett Cole had a hit yesterday. So McCutchen behind him. MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, is celebrating 13 years. Watch every out-of-market game live or on demand in true HD on over 400 mobile and connected devices. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking widget, and more every night on every device. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. Strike 1 to Polanco. He struck out swinging in the first, 0 for 1. Ball and 1 strike. He's about due to run into one, Steve.
A lot of our guys are. Arrieta does not give many up.
Arrieta's got that flat-brimmed cap. Took an iron to it. It's kind of a big deal in the college game. College players flatten out the brims.
Is there some kind of meaning or reasoning to it, or is it just a style statement?
It's just style. That's all. Polanco will have a 3-2 count on him again. Second time in the game he's had a full count. Walker in the on-deck circle. 1 out, base is empty. Payoff pitch from Jake Arrieta. Struck him out again. 4th strikeout of the afternoon for the right-hander.
Cut him with a slow curve downstairs, goes back upstairs this time. Still not the heat, not the fastball. I'm surprised I'm seeing so many pitches up today with the wind blowing out. But these guys have both been on a very good roll pitching, so they got it the way they want it right now.
Even in this ballpark, though, if you feel like you've been on a roll in the last couple of starts, say, you want to just pitch your ball game regardless of the wall behind you.
The trap is trying to be something you're not. You know, if you're a four-seamer for the most part, and you're going to all of a sudden walk into this ballpark and try to throw sinkers, I mean, you're getting away from what got you here, what has made you successful. That's a trap.
Pretty humid here this weekend. Temperatures in the upper 70s for the most part.
You can get both extremes in Chicago against the Cubs. Different parts of the year. You come here in April. You can have well, look at the ugly coats the guys had on when you were in April.
Coat. There was one coat.
Well,
they shared it.
It should have been less than one coat. It should have been a coat that nobody wore.
It was cold.
I was embarrassed. I'm really embarrassed to be part of the organization.
Jake Arrieta strikes out the side. No score through 2.5. Garage and lift the hood on Pirates' hidden mechanic, Jim Benedict. See how Benedict's work behind the scenes fixing pitchers is a major reason for the team's depth on the mound. It's Inside Pirates Baseball. Hidden Mechanic debuts Tuesday after postgame on Root Sports. The PMC scoreboard says no score as we go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. At Wrigley, Jake Arrieta, the pitcher, leading off. He takes a strike. Arrieta this year in the struggle, hasn't it? He hit 0 for 17. Struck out 12 times in those 17 at-bats. Pops this one up. Foul ground. And Jay under. 1 out. Arrieta's 0 for 18. Let's take a look at this Point Park University tweet right now. Steve, do you prefer playing in day games or night games?
Yep. I love day
That's
games.
a great answer.
Baseball players love day games because you might be able to have, if you're home, you have dinner with a family, or if you're in Chicago, all you want is day games. There's so much to do, and it's a great city, great restaurants. It's a little break from that usual grind you have during the course of the week. I don't know too many ball players that don't like the occasional day game. The problem is if you go back-to-back day games, then you've got some other issues. You have to make sure that you're able to bounce back. Nice dinner. Get on the early bus.
Nice dinner, plenty of sleep, plenty of rest.
And sometimes, the pool wants you justifiably to be out here at 6 in the morning.
And one's outside. I know. How about that?
I'm not allowed to call them gypsies yet.
No, but you couldn't get your morning run in today because we had to be out here so early.
That's right. Along the lake.
2-1 to count to Addison Russell. He takes a strike. A lot of Buckle fans here. Seen a lot of black and gold here this weekend. Good sign. 2-2. Full count.
AJ catch a cleat or something, or slip, or go away, maybe. Ball could follow through. Finish.
2, he walked it. Let's go back to Pittsburgh right now. Paul Alexander is standing by with his game break. Thanks, Paul. Syndergaard, the top prospect for the Mets, who can throw as hard as anybody. And for Gomez, definitely a scary moment.
Substantial lead by Russell.
And they got him picked off. Pedro tags him. As Addison Russell was going to run on Burnett. And you'd expect that Joe Madden would have his team trying to run on Burnett today. And Russell caught. And he was picked off, so they're 2 down now.
There's the fatal move. Dang, it's over at that point. You make that lunge towards second, it's over.
Going out on the bases for the Cubs, and here is Dexter Fowler as the Cubs turn the order over.
Yeah, you pick a guy off, the sun comes out.
It's true.
Somewhere I see clouds, but I can see shadows too. That's what we're seeing for most of the sky, but somewhere there's a break. Love pickoffs. Every pitcher loves to pick somebody off. You live for that.
Helps clean up a hit or a walk, obviously.
Yeah, it's an ego thing. Yeah, you're on first base, you think you're going to run on me.
There you go. No. Siegel says he didn't come around the front edge of home plate. 1 ball and 1 strike to Dexter Fowler. Fowler out of Atlanta, Georgia. Very good athlete. He could have gone to Harvard to play basketball. Instead signed with the Rockies. Came up through the Rockies system, played there for a number of years before going to Houston last year. Says he really likes it here in Chicago. Thinks he's a good fit.
Well, it's an interesting decision whether to go to Harvard or go into pro ball. The percentages that you're going to have a lot of success are better at Harvard, just because of the numbers. You go into professional baseball, there's a lot of people that wash out along the way for various reasons.
Three balls, 2 strikes to Fowler. He fouls it off.
You were close enough to go to Harvard.
I was. I actually went to school across the river from Harvard. I was on the other side of the The Charles River?
Oh, not the tracks. Just the other side of the river.
The river, yes. Yeah, I was on the Boston side. They're on the Cambridge side. 3-2 delivery. And a hot shot. Walker with a diving stab to his feet, and he throws him out. Terrific play by Walker. No score. We're through 3 at Wrigley. More Wrigley Field memories from Steve coming up.
That about wraps it up, Steve. Here.
No. Oh, no. We are going to home run territory now. Well, Babe Ruth, baby. I'm pointing it out.
The bricks at Wrigley Field, the left field wall. It was a long time ago. You hit your one and only career home run over this wall. I know you probably don't remember many of the details.
It was a long time ago, but it was September 5th, 1969. It was Maz's birthday. The wind was blowing the ivy like crazy. It was unbelievable. The wind blowing in and kind of creating a vacuum of sorts where you couldn't pound the ball out of here. It was 73 degrees, 43% humidity, 3,212 people in the stands. Ken Holtzman was on the mound. I went 4 for 5 that day. Billy Williams went 4 for 4. Overcast sky. The rest of it's kind of vague.
Yeah, sounds like the rest of it was.
Yeah, kind of vague. But
yeah,
3 blocks down, people were reporting they heard the sound, the crack of the bat when that happened. It's amazing that people that far away, still to this day, can remember the crack of the bat. I mean, it was like a laser beam. It was like a rocket ship going out of here.
This is like the fish that you catch, and every year it gets bigger and bigger.
That was the one that got away, Steve. With like a laser.
Well, it made a sound that you just know is going.
You know, to this day, they're still talking about it over there past Waveland Avenue.
They've all passed away.
1-2 the count. And that's outside. It's like
but the great thing is to run to first base and the coach says take a left, because you're always peeling back to the right and back to the dugout. Yeah, clear the ivy by 4 or 5 stories.
McCutcheon, a line shot that's over the head of Russell into right center. Leadoff single for Andrew.
Almost robbed again. How can you not be a Cub when your first name is Addison?
Well, if his double play partner was named Clark, that would be just perfect. A bit too high for him. It's like when I read your book, Steve, and I said, hey, I enjoyed your book. And I said, I enjoyed all the stories in your book. And you said, yeah, some of them were even true.
That doesn't need to be said. You know, they're still for sale.
0-1 to Marte. Starling grounded out to the first baseman Rizzo in the second inning.
Well, let's set up shop again and see if we can force something all the way around. Keep putting runners on. Eventually, they're going to start coming in. Saw a lot of that Friday. That was as wild a baseball game as I've seen in a long time. You know, say Polanco makes the catch. Still nothing guaranteed. You know, you're
It would have been 2 outs because Castro was not running that time.
Right, but you know, are we going to be able to score? Are we going to be able to find another pitcher? I mean, there was no guarantee, even if he catches the ball. But it was so eerily similar to the play in the 10th inning. I mean, it's like a carbon copy, except that you're right. They weren't going to send him. They said that the next day. They said it the next day. I'm not still so sure they would have sent him to Ricks winning the ball game.
And Marte couldn't hold his swing. He's called out on strikes.
Number 6 by Arrieta. Had 10, as we said last game against the Mets.
Let's get a look at the side swing. Did he go?
Yep. Those are always those 50-50. And then I'm confused now with that half swing because now Greg tells me the umpire says it's not whether you went too far, it's intent. Well, you know, if you start the bat, it's intent.
You also intended to stop it, right?
Well,
if you check it.
That's an afterthought.
And haven't they just always used the front edge of home plate as the guideline?
Or your wrist. You know, there's ways of talking around that particular call. Wrist, you go so far distance-wise. If you have either mental or emotional intent, which opens up a whole new spectrum of everything in life.
Jung Ho Gung with a 1-ball count on him. Fouled off down the right side. 1-1. Jake Arrieta was an opening day starter with the Orioles at one point. And shortly after his opening day start a couple of years ago, they sent him down.
Well, we used to see him a lot in spring training in Sarasota.
Worked his way back up, but he had his ups and downs literally with the Orioles. And then when he got to Chicago, figured some more things out, and he has been very, very good. 4-3 this year, an ERA of 3, but the ERA a pretty good indicator of what he's been able to do. His pitching coach Chris Baggio has worked with him, helped him.
Came over in the middle of the season 2 years ago. Immediately got better. And, you know, there are occasions when you see an opposing pitcher or your scouts see a pitcher, and you can say, "Well, I really see something." One of your scouts or developmental people, I see something in that person that could make a difference. Maybe that prompts the interest. 10-game winner, that's going to get your attention these days. But he didn't waste much time once he got here in the middle of that year. After leaving Baltimore with a 7.23 ERA after 5 starts, came over here, 9 starts, 4-2, and ERA about 3.5. It got figured out quickly. 10-5 last year.
1-2, bouncing ball. Addison Russell flip to Castro, back to first, double play. No runs, a hit, and that's it. And the Pirate fourth, still scoreless. 1971. Roberto Clemente hit a two-run walk-off triple off Mike Marshall to give the Pirates a 6-5 win over the Expos at Three Rivers Stadium. Clemente had 3 hits, including a home run, and drove in 3. Pirates improved their record to 21-14 with the victory. Steve, you were there.
I hope I got the win. I guess kinesiology didn't work that day for Mike Marshall.
No. Whatever Clemente did worked.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Well, no score, bottom of the 4th. Chris Bryant leads off for Chicago. Strike 1.
Well, so far we're getting what we expected. A whole lot of pitching from Burnett and Marietta.
0-1 pitch. Strike 2. 1972 on this date. Just to add to that, Pirates beat the Cardinals 12-0. Steve Blass had a complete game, struck out 4.
Nothing wrong with hitting 12 runs to work with. By the way, we have seen so much of this. Catchers getting injured. Cervelli.
He's had a real tough week anyway with this sort of activity. He's been taking foul balls. He's been getting backswings off the arm. And Potenciano there looking after him at this point in time. That's part of the reason that Chris Stewart started yesterday's game, to give Cervelli just a little bit of a breather so he can recover. There he is, banged up again.
So this is one of those bounces that will lay you out like this until you get your breath back and collect yourself. And, when you get hit there, there's nothing you can do to give yourself some time.
Swing on the arm here. Ouch. That hurts too. There's a reason they call catcher's equipment the tools of ignorance.
It's a long 6 months for major league catchers. They get beat up.
Francisco ready to continue. No balls, 2 strikes to Chris Bryant. Nobody out. Bottom half of the 4th inning. And get him to chase. Cervelli will throw it down. Strike out 2-3. Good put out. Let's check in with Paul Alexander back in Pittsburgh with his game break.
Eight 2/3 innings. That's cruel. That is very cruel.
He's almost there.
We've had a pitcher several years ago, Doug Graybeck, 8 2/3 over in Philadelphia, and Sal Campusano. I'll never forget it. Round ball base. Well, I don't even know what it was. Clean base hit. Took care of it. That much work and that close to a finish line.
There's a fly to McCutcheon in center field in the 1st inning. Pirates shifted around to the right for him.
By the way, that strikeout of Chris Bryant, we're starting to see a lot of breaking balls swung through, swings and misses on breaking balls from Bryant, and that word will get around if that continues.
To Rizzo. Speaking of the breaking ball, Castro waits on deck. AJ has to rely on that a lot more now. He does not throw his fastball with the velocity he once did. And Clint was talking about it today before the game, saying he's not the same pitcher he was when he was here before. He said he's got good location and good command. And he uses his pitches very well. He said it's fun to watch him go out there and pitch.
It's the inside target.
Walks Rizzo. Second walk issued by AJ today.
Well, that's an early move by Francisco Cervelli to set up that target that far inside. You wonder if there's any just a sense of feel by a hitter to almost feel the catcher that close and tight in on a given that target, or whether he might sneak a peek. I was always a little paranoid about that. My catcher moving too much where they might see it or get a feel that the pitch is going to be in a particular delivery. Yep, a certain area.
Pitch to Castro is strike one. So as you say, you're paranoid about that, but did you keep an eye on the hitter to make sure he didn't sneak a peek down? And
it's hard. I mean, it's hard to know. It's so easy. These hitters, I mean, they guess, they cheat, they look. All bad things that you want your children to grow up with.
We just don't get an objective opinion out of you about pitchers and hitters.
Well, they have all the advantages.
Well, they don't know what's coming. You do. And the audience at home now knows. 0-2 from Burnett.
Sitting outside, a little too far out there. There used to be ways of if you think guys are getting signs, whether it's from the catcher, they used to say about Wrigley Field or somebody out in the outfield flashing signs. You just cross them up, you go with some opposite signs, and somebody almost gets their head taken off. Usually that kind of activity would cease. There used to be rumors about Wrigley Field that they would turn a light on or turn the light off on a fastball or off-speed pitch, another fastball, but there was a lot of paranoia about that kind of stuff all over baseball. Not as much as there used to be.
There's been rumors of that at other ballparks too. Not just Wrigley. Sure. Some hitters say they don't want to know. To left center field. That one is getting down. Around second. Big turn for Rizzo. McCutchen throws back there. Single for Castro. 2 on, 1 out for Chicago.
He was thinking about taking off for third. Now hit a pitcher's pitch. That's a good delivery by AJ. Good piece of hitting by Castro. Turn it back around. Here goes Rizzo. He's looking. He's got everything right in front of him. He's going to go. Sides against him.
Rizzo at second base. Castro over at first. Castro has more hits by any shortstop in Major League Baseball since 2010. That was his 887th hit since 2010 when he came up.
And a little conference with Cervelli and A.J. Burnett. This is the first time they've had a runner at second base. Maybe just wanted to make sure they're on the right page, same page for signs with the man on second, because you changed it. Because it used to be that a guy might try to telegraph where he sees the catcher flashing for signs. And like you say, it doesn't happen as much anymore, but you still mix them up.
Way outside.
When it first came to the big leagues, there used to be sophisticated sets of signs with a man on second base. I mean, working off the count, time of day, or I mean, it was crazy the things they do to make sure nobody was stealing. And basically, it got down a lot of times to second sign. Okay, go through as many as you want. Second sign, the first sign after one. Could get complicated.
What about? You mentioned with the count, like you're ahead in the count, behind in the count, even count,
yeah,
sign.
Yeah. If it's 2 and 2 or any even count, 1 and 1, 0, 0, it's a breaking ball. You get away from that, and there's another indicator.
Two-0 pitch. Strike to Montero. Montero Singled in the second and then was doubled off. Chris Coghlan hit a shallow fly ball to center. McCutchen a sliding grab, got up to his feet, fired a one hopper to Pedro at first, and got the ball there ahead of Montero. 2-1 pitch. Three and one.
We talked about signs too. It's the same way like a third base coach. We'll go through a bunch of signs as we take a look and see how close this one came. It's very close.
Gary Jones at third base. Longtime minor league manager, Gary Jones, coaching third this season with the Cubs.
Strike. You know that the grid is very interesting because it's totally accurate. But those situations where balls are on the line like that, you're not going to get everyone, and it's going to go back and forth. Pitchers are going to get some of those. Batters are going to get some of those. When they're right on the corners, there's no guarantee, and it's an inexact science for calling balls and strikes. Simply not going to get them all. Either side.
3-2.
So if you think you're going to throw a perfect pitch that is a strike right on that corner, and you're going to get the call all the time, you're going to get it most of the time, but you're not going to get it all the time. So stop living on the edge.
Is that life advice or pitching advice?
Yes, sir.
Rizzo at second, Castro at first, one out. Payoff pitch from Burnett. Walked it, and the bases are full.
Another conference out on the mound, and the Pirates had an opportunity that was not as strong as this one, and couldn't cash in with one out. We'll see what the Cubs do, and what they was able to do to prevent that.
Cubs threatening now. The base is full and one out.
And this is the leading strikeout candidate for the Cubs. 53 strikeouts and 140 at-bats. Certainly love to get a ground ball for double play, but the strikeout would work also.
There's Anthony Rizzo. He walked. He's at third base. Base hit for Starlin Castro. He's in scoring position also at second, and then Miguel Montero down at first. Jorge Soler, right fielder, hitting .279. 0 for 1, struck out looking in the second inning. Strike one to Soler.
Speaking of pitches right on the corner. Check it out. Here's one. You see a little tail back. Yeah, here's one that we got. Time a little bit outside. Had a little tail. That might have been a deciding factor to get the call. That ball's trying to get back in that outside corner.
Similar spot. Soler didn't like it. He's in the hole 0-2.
Well, let's check out. You might have one dot that's involving two pitches. A little bit lower. Okay. Doesn't have to have everybody like it. We like it. He's out there again. You keep going out there. I mean, Tom Glavine got in the Hall of Fame doing that. He'd creep out a little further, and he'd stop. When he started missing by 2 or 3 or 4 inches, well, he'd come back into the strike zone.
0 for 4 with the bases loaded in his young career.
Let's see where Cervelli sets up, because he sets up early.
AJ's 1-2 pitch.
Yes,
strike
sir.
3 call.
That was 3 perfectas there. Maybe that'll match up with that call third strike that got called on McCutchen. But you know, again, you're not going to get them all. You're going to get some of them. But A.J. Burnett is savvy enough to know he's gotten a couple calls, so why change?
You see that it was in the exact same spot as pitch number 1. Pitch number 4 covered it up.
Got a big circle around that one. Pirates go on to win this ball game. They're going to come back to that at bat. That was some pretty impressive stuff by A.J.
2 outs, bases full. Chris Coghlan. 0 for 1 for Coghlan. He flied out to McCutchen in the second inning.
You wiggle out
Part
of
of
this
that double play.
You wiggle out of this thing with the way Arrieta's pitching. You have done quite a job because as it stands now, it doesn't look like much hitting.
Ball 1 to Coghlan.
It's interesting too. You make a big out like that, and you work real hard to get it. You want to make sure you don't relax that, because that's obviously the toughest out. You hear a lot of possibility. You get a fly ball now.
It was a bouncer foul. Pedro lost his footing as he went to move to the foul line to his left.
You don't need another one of those kind of stumbles.
I wonder if Leo DeRocher's the groundsman around here.
Well, you never know. The ghost of Leo.
1 ball, 1 strike count on Coghlan. Strike 2. Coghlan on Wednesday night against the Mets drew a walk-off walk in the 9th inning. Bases were loaded. He walked, and the Cubs would win that game. They come off a 4-game sweep over the Mets. Won the first 2 games here against the Pirates. 6 in a row for Chicago. Bucks looking to end that streak today. 1-2 to Coghlan. And a foul ball.
And again, something away from the fastball. Major league pitchers can do that. They can crowd hitters enough in tough situations where they can't afford to take the ball, but all they can do is pull it foul. And that's an art practiced tremendously by Greg Maddux. Let's get you behind in the count, and you can't take it so close, but all you can do is hook it foul. AJ working hard here in the 4th.
The base is full of Cubs. 2 down. 1-2 pitch to Coghlan. In the air to left. Playable for Marte. He's on the track, and he makes the catch. A 29-pitch inning for A.J. Burnett, but the Cubs leave him loaded. Still scoreless.
Sports is brought to you by Allegheny Health Network. Health for all. By Kenny Ross, Ask a Neighbor. And by Levin Mattress, located in all Levin Furniture showrooms and freestanding stores. Let's go Bucks!
Top of the 5th inning, no score. Chris Coughlin fly to left with the wind blowing out. And A.J. Burnett stranded, the bases full.
Well, I guess I can't whine about us missing the first and third with one out. The Cubs can't get down with the bases loaded and one out.
The wind seems to be picking up, blowing out to left.
There's some pitching by A.J. after he pitched himself into a mess with 2 walks. Got himself in the mess, got himself out of it.
Still scoreless, starting the 5th. And Pedro Alvarez to face Arrieta. Pitch is in there for a strike. Looks like the Cubs made a change. Jonathan Herrera coming off the bench. Cubs just with a 3-man bench, replacing Chris Bryant. Pitch outside.
I don't know what that's all about.
I'll get that story for you.
Because it will be a story with that young man.
Pedro held up. Looked like Pedro had the intent to swing there, Steve, but
don't start on him.
But didn't.
Don't start.
2-1 to Pedro. Alvarez 1 for 1. He had a single in the second. Arrieta's kick and the pitch. 3-1. Now the wind at the start of the game was coming out of the southeast at 23 miles an hour. It looks like it's picked up from that. Going straight out to left.
We've had some balls that have got onto the track so far, but nothing. It has gotten over, no score. Arrieta has not walked a batter. His control has been exemplary all of his 7 starts.
Payoff pitch, foul off. Josh Harrison on deck. You can tell sitting in the stands how windy it's getting. Fouled off. Joe Madden pulling Chris Bryant, and the word we're getting from the Cubs now is that he's under the weather.
Are we all?
Pedro, a high chopper over the mound. Castro is there. 1 out. Take a look now at our Allegheny Health Network injury update. Here's Chris Bryant.
Not feeling well.
Bryant was 1 for 2. He had a base hit in the first. He struck out in the fourth and had to leave the game. His left field Looney's hat on here in Chicago. Vest. Pirates haven't worn the vest in a few years.
If that was the head of the left field Looney's, Ross Morgan, now I wouldn't be surprised if Ross has traveled out to the Windy City. Well, there's a pitch that has been hit a long way on various occasions. That chest high in the middle of the plate.
2 O's fouled back. Yeah, Jay Hayes looking for something in that 2-0 count.
There are pitchers delivered that both parties would like to have back.
Jay Hayes been pretty good. Last 10 games, he's figuring it out now after a very slow start. 2 hits yesterday, 4 hits on Friday, 3 hits on Thursday. And the home plate umpire Chad Fairchild got the worst of that one.
Dangerous area behind home plate this series. Catchers and umpires.
Cervelli knows about it. Cervelli going to enjoy the day off tomorrow. Actually 2 days off this week for the Pirates. A 2-game series with the Twins coming up Tuesday and Wednesday interleague. Pirates will return that 2-game series later in Minneapolis. But Thursday is also an off day. Josh pops this one up. Castro backpedaling, still backpedaling. That one drops in for a hit, and nobody covering second. Harrison will slide in safely with a double.
Heads up play by Josh Harrison. When Castro finally looked behind him, he knew he was in trouble because that wind is just carrying, and he went out straight back, and that was going to be tough if he got to it. But then when he made the look, he knew he couldn't get it, and he had that feel. The minute he looked, he was in good shape. Up in the air, there he goes. Now he squares up, and then he looked back, and it was fatal. I mean, fatal is kind of a harsh word, but you know he wasn't going to get it.
To Jay Hayes' credit, he kept on running.
Yep.
And ends up with a 2-base hit, his 9th double of the year. Cervelli a chance to get him in. Goes to right field, and Harrison will round third. He will come to the plate. The throw from Soler is cut off, and the Pirates have a 1-0 lead, and hung up is Cervelli. Cervelli trying to get back to first base. Montero covering there, and Francisco with a base running mistake, but got the run in. An RBI for Cervelli on a base hit. And the Pirates on the board first, 1-0.
Looked like Rizzo really got up high to get that cutoff. At first look, I don't know if we get a chance, but what a nice bit of hitting, taking that pitch off the outside corner. Solid base hit. And then the throw from right field. Yeah, he got up there pretty good. And then it's just a matter of time. 9, 3, 4.
Yeah. I mean, tip your cap to Rizzo for making that cut. Yeah, I think Cervelli was thinking that ball might go over the cutoff man's head, and he'd have a chance to walk into second base.
But you want to be sure. Sure, because you set up shop, even in a run, now you're still in business. But the Pirates are on the board.
Well, that's why the first baseman plays right there on that play. That's the exact reason. Ground ball right side. Rizzo deep in the hole. Turns and fires it to Arrieta for the out. Pirates get a run on 2 hits. Nobody left. 1-0 Bucks. Street, live entertainment, food, games, and other activities at a Friday night block party presented by Barrel Automotive. The first 20,000 fans receive a free Pirates t-shirt designed by A.J. Burnett. Compliments of People's Natural Gas. For tickets, go to pirates.com/free shirt Friday.
On the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again.
He just got on the road.
With my friends. Can't wait to get on the road again.
1-0 Pirates. Josh Harrison scores on the Francisco Cervelli base hit to right field. And now the bottom of the fifth. It'll be Jake Arrieta leading off for the Cubs against Pirates' A.J. Burnett.
Yep, A.J., there's your run.
Yep, that's your run. You got to work with it now. It seems like that's how it's been going for A.J. for the most part when he's been on the hill. That was one of your Rivers Casino tips to win today.
Yeah, reward A.J. Get him some points.
Well, Arrieta 0 for 1.
Go for the 2-point conversion instead of 1.
And a strike called. No balls, 1 strike. The pitch. Nothing at 2. 72 pitches for Burnett to this point in the game. Here in the bottom of the 5th inning. And a swing and a miss. Arrieta is out. And he is now 0 for 19 this year. The strikeout for Burnett gets a little closer to the next spot on the all-time strikeout list. He's chasing Louis Tiant next. Has to get to 2,416 to catch Tiant. Needs 10 today to do that. He's halfway there with 5. Addison Russell will batter. Russell walked and was picked off in the 3rd inning. Strike 2 to him. The Pirates pitchers have 6 caught stealings, just the pitchers. It's tied with the White Sox for the most in the majors.
Is that a pickoff or caught stealing?
It depends on if he makes a move to second or not. And Russell strikes out. 2 strikeouts. That's strikeout number 6 for Burnett. Yes, just way down low.
He gets a lot of swings and misses off those low curveballs. So is Liriano. The breaking pitches.
Charlie Morton will go out on another rehab assignment with Indianapolis soon. He'll pitch on the 19th for the Indianapolis Indians. It'll be his 3rd rehab start. Figures to be his last one. So he is almost back. Vance Worley, in the meantime, is in the bullpen today and available. He was yesterday, too. Glenn Hurdle telling us today that Vance will be in the bullpen for the games Tuesday and Wednesday against the Twins. And that Jeff Locke will start on Wednesday after Liriano makes his start on Tuesday.
The ebb and flow of a starting rotation. It's never the same 5 you head north with.
And there's Vance out there. Two 1. That's up high. Pitchers that we won't see today are getting rest and are unavailable. Jared Hughes still, and Rodimus Lees. Everybody else available today. And there you see maybe an unfamiliar face without the towel on, and that is Wilfredo Boscan, who was called up yesterday from Indianapolis. There's Wilfredo. He has yet to appear in a game in the major leagues. Originally with the Texas Rangers organization.
He likes the neighborhood.
Oh, yeah. He's in a different zip code now.
Inside target.
What the Pirates had to do to get Boscan on the 40-man roster was transfer Brandon Compton, who had elbow surgery. from a 15-day disabled list to the 60-day disabled list. He was not going to pitch this year anyway. And then they sent Steve Lombardozzi back to AAA.
It's interesting. Yeah, you can put him on the 6-month disabled list.
Yeah.
That's what they did.
2 outs, base is empty. Payoff pitch. Walked it. 2-out walk issued to Fowler. 4th walk for Burnett. Nissan rode ahead on his calendar as we see a day off tomorrow, Tuesday. Minnesota comes in for a pair of interleague games, and the New York Mets on the weekend. Miami Marlins after that, and the game on the 27th, a day game, an early day game. Then the Pirates go out west, San Diego and San Francisco. And
LA didn't qualify, I guess.
No, Atlanta apparently was the next closest city, so we'll go there.
Yeah. Remember way back when Atlanta was in the East Division?
Yeah. Well, no, they were in the West.
Oh, West. I'm sorry, the opposite.
Yeah.
Eastern team in the West.
2 outs, man aboard. Jonathan Herrera up. Now this part of the lineup looks a little different with Herrera in as opposed to Chris Bryant. Herrera, 211 hitter. No homers and 5 runs batted in. And again, Bryant leaving the game not feeling well.
And AJ working up a pitch count. This would be 85.
And the reason you see Bryant batting second and Rizzo third instead of third and fourth is because the Cubs pitcher bats 8th, and they want Russell to be another leadoff man. Joe Madden was explaining this whole thing to me last time we were in, and his philosophy is he'd like Bryant and Rizzo to get a chance to produce a run in the first, and then the next time around essentially have them as the third and fourth hitters, although he does understand that you can't control what happens after the first time through the order.
Right, you certainly can't.
Joe Madden, a Pennsylvania guy from Hazleton. Played quarterback at Lafayette. He told me that he remembered being 12 years old, going to McKees Rocks to play football, and he just got absolutely beat up. Runner goes, and this ball right to Pedro Alvarez. He'll reverse direction, step on first, and that'll do it for the Cubs in the 5th. On to the 6th inning at Wrigley Field. Pirates 1, Cubs nothing. When the Pirates play the New York Mets at 1:35, all kids 14 and younger get a Garrett Cole replica camo jersey, courtesy of Chevrolet. Get to the #1 Cochran Family Fun Zone on Federal Street before the game. Afterwards, kids run the bases. Compliments of the original pizza logs. For tickets, it's pirates.com. Mets and Mets, Sunday, May 24th. It's a nice shirt.
I wish I could have had one of those when I was pitching. You couldn't see the ball coming out of the camouflage, could you? You wearing them during the game?
I don't know. It's a newer thing in recent years where camouflage jerseys start. I think the Padres actually were the ones to start that. Polanco leads off against Arrieta, top of the order here in the 6th. Polanco asks for time and gets it. Well, it's good there is a day off tomorrow for you, Steve. You've
Really hard work.
done a lot of stuff on this road trip.
Yeah.
It's not easy going out on the road.
One of the things that kicked it off nicely when you guys got in from Philadelphia. Had a good pre-production meeting.
1-1 pitch. That's outside. Yeah, that was a long meeting, long pre-production meeting. Got a lot accomplished.
It's been a while. I had to make sure I was squared up, doing the right things, being in the right places.
You were.
It took a while. Sort of hang out.
2-1. That's fouled back. 2 balls and 2 strikes. It's just like riding a bike, though, isn't it, Steve?
It's been a long time. Yep. Except I didn't know I was supposed to do a pregame hit today before did all that stuff. But it all worked out.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
It's good fun. I really have thoroughly enjoyed the weekend.
2-2. And a slow roller to the right side. Rizzo shovels to Arrieta. Close play. And Jim Joyce indicates out. Polanco's 0 for 3. Well, we've been talking about some memories of Wrigley Field, Steve, and one that we haven't talked about. You got to give the sandwich story.
Oh, yeah, we had an infielder, Julio Gotay, however you want to pronounce it, never played. So we were in Chicago, and they put him in a pinch run, and he took off to steal second base and slid, and a mayonnaise sandwich came out of his back pocket. Just didn't figure he was going to be using it. Particular, kind of interesting, just visual, kind of guy sliding in the sandwich.
That's a bad place to store a sandwich.
Just short of second base. I think he was safe. The sandwich was called up.
Neal's 0 for 2 today. Pitch low. 2 balls and no strikes.
It wasn't the first time Julio Gotay was victimized when he was with the Houston Colts back then. Turk Farrell, prankster, put a small snake into the whirlpool bath.
Oh,
when he was there. That didn't go well.
Oh boy. Unnerving would be one way to describe that. To center field. Fowler under it. 2 out. This Point Park University tweet comes in, Steve. Enjoying the Steve Blass experience. Good stuff.
Ernie Banks, that's what I enjoyed for a lot of years. One of the best baseball players, people, ambassadors of the game. Ernie Banks, one of the very best. Hall of Fame for sure.
You told me that he was very talkative down at first base.
Oh yeah, because when he came over late in his career to play first base, he'd holler. The dugouts are so close. He'd holler, "Good day for 2." And boy, you talk about the responses from our dugout.
1-0 to Kutch. Fouls it back. 1-1. Statue of Ernie Banks.
Yep.
Right there by the marquee. Walked by the statue of Billy Williams on the way in.
I walked around it.
And Steve walked around, yeah.
Wide berth.
Billy got a hit anyway.
I always remember Lanny asked me years back, I said, why did Billy Williams hit me so well? I said, because he could, and he liked it.
It was ironic, though, when we walked in by the statue of Billy Williams today. It's actually in between the statues of Billy Williams and Ron Santo. Another guy who hits pretty well.
Yep.
McCutcheon down on strikes. Pirates gone in order in the 6th. Life with Josh Miller. Follow Stan through a typical workday, complete with a visit to the DVE Morning Show, a stop to host his daily radio show, and of course to the North Shore to fulfill his duties as Pirates pregame host. Don't miss A Day in the Life, Tuesday, 6 p.m. on Root Sports.
Day in the life of a good Cleveland Indian fan.
There's been some news in baseball today regarding the Marlins. They have fired their manager, Mike Redmond. Bench coach Rob Leary also dismissed following the game. The team will announce a new manager tomorrow morning. The Marlins shaking things up. And Rizzo skies this pitch to center field.
Kutch.
Yeah, tough sky right there for Kutch. One pitch and one out.
That was pitch number 87, I think 87 or 88, delivered by A.J. Burnett.
Yeah, the Marlins nearly no hit today by the Braves and Shelby Miller. And the Marlins out to a 16-22 start. So, unfortunately for Mike Redmond, he becomes a casualty of the baseball season. Starlin Castro batting with one out.
He won't be the only one.
I've already seen Ron Renicky of the Brewers be replaced. Craig Counsell taking over for him.
A couple of minor items of AJ. Difficulty finishing the pitch, a little slip, but he has not slipped when he turns him loose. 3-hit shutout to this point.
2 balls and no strikes to Castro. So it is 2-0 on Castro. Cervelli setting up outside. It's 3-0. Do you ever have any problems with any certain mounds in other ballparks?
Not really. The only real problem I had if I was really different, I wasn't as tall. I was shorter than my mound opponent or taller. Where that front foot lands, you could have some issues with that during the course of a game. Pitching for a strike. In a perfect world, you'd have your lead foot land in the same hole, but if you're a little shorter, a little taller, you might hit on the edge of it, or just short of it, or front edge, or back edge. All for it. Kind of a hesitant awareness by Castro that it was going to be called ball four. The best mound in the universe, Dodger Stadium, that red clay. Your front foot hit and it didn't move, and it was hard to dig a hole out. Of course, if I was pitching against Sandy Koufax and he created a hole there, I would have tried to get him to autograph it and take it home. Just dig it all up. AJ, not happy. Really not happy.
AJ not pleased right there. That's his 5th walk. There's some nonverbal communication there between AJ and the home plate umpire, Chad Fairchild.
This is body language. Check it out. Again, there we go. It's
that's a strike on Jorge Soler. Every time that had been a strike on him. But not there on Castro. The Cubs have the tying run aboard, 1 out. Montero fouls it off.
Yeah, and you got to come back to that subject of trying to steal a base or the possibility of stealing a base. Castro's 4 out of 6.
Five and 2 with a 2.84 ERA at Dodger Stadium was Steve Blass. I guess you like the mound there.
I'm sorry.
Runner goes. Cervelli throws it down, and Castro's in. Did he overslide? No. So Castro with a stolen base, his 5th of the year.
Yeah, it just looked like a setup. They're not doing much. They're not cashing in and try to get 90 feet.
Glenn Hurdle is coming out. Looks like he wants to challenge this. So Clint's going to use a challenge here. appears as though Castro is plenty safe, but did he take his foot up off the bag or not?
Well, that lead foot certainly went beyond, and then did he drag the back foot over on top of the base?
Was there a point when he was off the bag and the glove was on him? Maybe there.
We've got an argument. Let's put it that way.
Jim Joyce, the crew chief, and
this would be huge.
Second base umpire over there with the headsets back to New York. It looked like a routine steal by Castro, but
well, these guys are all going a lot. No, I shouldn't say all. A lot of them are going past the bag with that front foot, and then maintaining contact until the other foot catches up. Plenty of time. That front foot. Look at the back foot now. Front foot's gone. Right there, close, very close. He's tagging him up on the upper leg. So where's that back foot? When is that making contact? So I'm going to say we got a 60% of winning this challenge. 60%.
Well, depending on the angles they're looking at in New York, it's very close. And because it was called safe, if they can't come up with clear and convincing evidence, it'll be a call that would stand.
You know, I just hope that wire is plugged in and they're just not talking it over and deciding on their own.
I know there was one yesterday that folks are still talking about. Some conversation about it this morning. Let's see, this might show us. Okay, he's off the bag there, and he gets tagged. Looks like he gets tagged there before that back foot hits the bag. So he may be out. But we'll see what folks in New York determine.
I understand the concept. This is the part I don't like. Major League ball game, everybody's standing out. 1-0 ball game.
Well, yesterday,
standing around.
In the third inning, Steve, Dexter Fowler trying to steal second base, and he was called out. Joe Madden challenged it. It was very close, and they couldn't come up with anything that would overturn the call. And one angle showed he was out, one angle showed he was safe, and so they let the call stand that he was out by the call.
You know, as a pitcher like A.J. I would hate standing around. I'm trying to stay in some kind of a routine, a rhythm, a flow. And now, good, bad, or indifferent on the call, you hate to see your guy having to stand around.
Yeah, typically the ones that are reviewed long like this don't get overturned much.
This is awful.
The review yesterday was 3 hours. 3 hours. Well, it seemed like 3 hours. 3 minutes and 5 seconds on the review yesterday. I don't know where we are right now. Joe Madden a little upset with this right now that it's even being challenged, but the Pirates saw something. They saw it quickly, and Clint Hurdle was out of the dugout pretty quickly and asked for the challenge. Okay, here we go. What do we have, gentlemen? He's out. The call has been overturned. Wow. Wow.
Back foot didn't make it in time after the front foot went by. See, there's the thing about over sliding. That front foot, if that's there, I mean, you're automatically safe. Now, why would you slide beyond it to get that back foot into play?
He was off the bag right there when Jung Ho tags him just before that back foot hits the bag. The Allegheny Health Network Supermo showing us right there. 3 minute and 40-second review in New York overturns the call. The next pitch is swung on and missed by Montero. Just like that, the inning comes to an end. 7th inning on the way. Pirates up a run.
authority of the Pittsburgh Pirates and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
This Saturday, it's Josh Harrison bobblehead day. First 20,000 fans who come to see the Pirates take on the Mets at 4:05 receive a Josh Harrison bobblehead, courtesy of Allegheny Health Network. It's also another Eden Park Scratch and Win Saturday, where everyone's a winner. For tickets, Pirates.com. So Marte now leads off the 7th inning and takes down low from Arrieta. No ball and no strikes. Pirates up 1-0 starting the 7th inning. 3-minute and 40-second review in New York overturned the call of safe at second base on the steal attempt by Starlin Castro. He overslid the bag with his front foot. Jim Joyce, the crew chief, he's just the messenger in these cases. Although the fans like to boo, they're the guys who are on the front lines. But it's somebody back in New York making the call. And the video showed was the right one.
Help to give AJ a little wiggle room. He has worked very hard to keep these Cubs off the board through 6. Wind blowing out all day. Tremendous pitching.
We should give a shout out to our cameraman here at Wrigley Field, who did a great job catching that.
Good looks.
The 3-1 pitch. It's full.
Both of these starters getting up close to the 100 mark. Pitches delivered.
Payoff is hit down to third. Herrera backhands it on the short hop. Throws out Marte.
That's a terrific play. 1-0 ball game. Great pick by Herrera at third base. Give him credit.
Starling is 0 for 3.
Not only a backhand, but in between hop. That's those plays you hope as a third baseman you get the glove in the right spot. Looks pretty when it happens. Yeah. Nice even sweep at it.
Gung-ho Gun 1 for 2. Got a base hit, an infield single in the second inning. In fact, he just ran out a routine ground ball to Chris Bryant at third. Bryant took his time. It took too much time, and Gung-ho beat it out.
I've got to give credit to Jim DeShays, who is a good friend, made a comment yesterday. You know, you can be hot and cold at the same time as a hitter. You know, depending on how many games you look at. The last 3 as opposed to the last 20. I mean, you can,
I guess.
Yeah, you can
spread it out and spin the numbers.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, pick out the sample. Jim
on the left, Len Casper on the right. Strike taken, 3-1.
The last 7 games or the last 20. Hot in one, cold in the other. Hot and cold at the same time. $36,289. Nice turnout here at the confines.
Oh my! Self-defense.
Didn't have to review that one. That won't take long. That was a BB. Right back through the middle. Now they'll give him a little time to get the heart rate back down.
You see the sweat coming off the side of his temple.
I'm okay, I think. Boy, that was coming right at his head. Didn't somebody just got hit? You were talking about the Met pitcher hit somebody in the head. Somebody got dragged off.
Carlos Gomez got hit with a pitch today. For the Brewers.
Well, as a pitcher, you're the closest one to the batter, and the pitcher can get you 60 feet 6 inches. That's pretty close too on your end.
2-0 to Pedro.
And the poor catchers, they never get the credit. They get banged around all the time. We talk about the pitchers and the hitters.
3-0 to Alvarez. Pirates scored their run in the 5th inning. Josh Harrison, a 1-out double, a hustle double. It was a pop-up to shallow left center that fell into no man's land. And he kept on running into second base. Cervelli drove him in with a base hit. 2-out walk issued to Pedro.
First free pass.
Who's bringing the lumber? It's brought to us by Yellowwood. Back a couple of days. Josh Harrison here Friday afternoon off of Jason Mott. High, deep, and gone to center field. For Jay Hay, that was his 4th home run of the season. Part of his 4-hit day. Just missed the cycle. Needed the triple. Now the pitch to Harrison. Take a strike. Pirates need Josh. They need his offense. And it's good to see that it's back. With this particular lineup today at the bottom part of the order, that could be an interesting place for him to hit on a regular basis. Could make that bottom of the order even stronger.
This is a crazy thought. You never see Pedro take off very often, but every once in a while he'll get going towards second base. Not predicting anything. Very modestly picks his spots.
It's inside.
Pitch number 104 delivered.
Nothing doing in the Cub pen. Broke his bat. Addison Russell going out after it, and coming in is Dexter Fowler. Pirates leave a man. It is stretch time in Chicago. 1-0 Pirates. See the caricature of Harry Carey there in the background, and
famous for so many things, including this tradition of having somebody sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." Various people come in, and I had a chance to do it a lot of years ago. We had one of the anniversaries of the World Series we were in, and it was great. But I knew I was going to get booed because they were going to say my name, followed by the fact that I was with the Pirates. So I was ready, and Greg and I had been out and stayed a little too late the night before, so it was quite a test. Remember the words and everything. Pitch just misses. Anyway, I got up and said, this song is dedicated to your hero and my buddy Ron Santo. Instead of booing, he started cheering. So we got it done.
We turned him around.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun. There was 30,000 people watching us sing. I've had them watch me pitch, but not singing.
Well, that was a professional move right there. You knew what you were doing.
You got to own the crowd. You got to change the crowd. Change their thinking.
Jorge Soler, 2 balls, no strikes. Puts outside 3-0. AJ struck him out twice looking. He now falls behind 3-0 in the bottom of the 7th.
And he bought himself a trip back out to the bottom of the 7th by having a very tidy bottom of the 6th inning where he only threw 9 pitches, but he's on a very short leash. Could be one more pitch leash.
Tony Watson warming up, and there's a
Not so
strike.
fast.
Come on back. Plate umpires don't like that. There's that pitch again. Same location he struck out on.
Wants it again.
Swings at this pitch. McCutchen going back on it. He reaches up and makes the grab. A fine running catch by Andrew McCutchen.
And there's really not too much time to leap. You just got to kind of outrun the ball, reach up at exactly the right time. The timing has to be perfect because that ball was still moving. What a nice play by Andrew. Appreciated really by A.J. Burnett. Soler got a lot of it. Didn't get the height he needed, but he hit that ball very hard and not too high. So Andrew really couldn't go back and measure it. That was taken on the run. That's a really good stretched out catch. And A.J. lives to work another batter and another batter.
There you go, a little help. Coghlan flies to McCutchen. AJ not sure at first if this was going to beat McCutchen or not, but
it's up. It's good
happy
for us. Great play. Yep. He knows that was an above average play. That wasn't one of those diving spectacular. That was he did all the right things at the right time.
So AJ waiting for David Ross to come to the plate. A pinch hitter will hit for Arrieta. Ross caught Arrieta yesterday. In fact, they catch him every game. He's his personal catcher. And Zach Roskop, the left-hander, starting to loosen up for Chicago. So Arrieta's going to be done today.
Pitched extremely well, but he is on the hook. 7 innings, a run on 5 hits, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. Quality start and then some for Arrieta.
Pitch to David Ross. He swings and hits one to left field. Marte will circle behind it.
Quick enough, wasn't it?
A 7-pitch inning for A.J. Burnett. He gets 3 fly balls to the outfield. On to the 8th.
He should be.
Congratulations as he comes in the dugout.
He should be.
Big play on the ball hit by Jorge Soler. He's our T-Mobile game changer. You go back to the second inning. Makes this catch off the bat of Chris Coghlan. Gets up. Miguel Montero too far off first base. And that is a double play. And that gets him out of the inning. And then this catch.
These are what MVP players do. Gannett knows it. 1-0 game. Huge. Absolutely huge. And when you have a 1-0 game, you've got to have pitching and defense. You can't have one without the other.
Yeah, a lot of times in this park, especially with the wind blowing out, offense is the game changer. Today, so far, it's been defense.
Got to have both.
Cervelli to face Zach Roscoe. Roscoe, rookie. Here are his numbers. 16th appearance, 1-0. ERA pretty good at 3.07. Strikers called. Roscoe appeared last on Friday, won an inning in the third. You might have been describing the path of the ball as it was heading his way.
It happens a lot. Line drives to the outfield. They'll move on you. I don't know why. I don't know the physics of it, but a lot of outfielders talk about that.
Cervelli with an RBI single in the fifth, and then got caught too far off of first base when the ball was cut off by Rizzo. Rizzo made a good play on him, and they got him in a brief rundown, tagged him out. Bouncer over the mound, heading toward the middle. That is going to be stopped by Russell, but that'll be a base hit for Francisco Cervelli. A leadoff single in the top of the eighth.
Now we'll see S-Rod, Sean Rodriguez. Let's scratch out some more offense. Give us a little safety room for AJ.
Well, yesterday I thought Rodriguez did something pretty nice.
He hit the ball over the fence.
That was it, but the way he did it. And John Lester been throwing first pitch strikes to everybody in the game. And when Rodriguez came up in the third inning rather, to lead it off, he'd already watched Lester throw first pitch strikes to the first 6 hitters of the game. He just sat dead red on a fastball and drove it out. He said, I'm not going to give you a chance to get a second strike on me.
Well, why wait around and fall behind 0-1?
Well, hugs for AJ, and with his effort today, he has gone 8 straight starts to start the season, giving up 2 runs or fewer, and he now has the franchise mark in that category. He's just passed Bob Walk, who did it in 1988 with 7 straight appearances to start the season.
Both those numbers very good. AJ, I mean, 8 starts, 2 runs or less. Why are you not 8-0? I mean, you're pitching well enough to be.
This is what he says is his final season. Oh, Rodriguez bunts it toward the mound. Roscoe fumbles it, throws to first. Close play, but Rodriguez is out.
Boy, Anthony Rizzo holds his ground because he knows there's a lot of traffic coming at him. Late throw and a runner grinding it out down the line. And, that's a pretty good play by the first baseman after Roscoe bobbled the ball.
Bunt for a base hit here.
It's a job down there.
Rodriguez moves a runner into scoring position. 1 out. Cervelli at second. Back to the top of the order for Gregory Polanco, who's 0 for 3 today. Left on left matchup. Swing and a miss. Polanco's faced Roscoe just once this year. He's 0 for 1 against him.
5 walks issued by AJ, but he pitched around him. 7 zeros. 7 zeros.
Whoa, watch out. He threw the bat. A woman in a Burnett jersey Says it's my bat now. See, Pittsburgh fans always play the best defense, don't they?
It's scary.
Wow. Addison Russell, the second baseman of the Cubs, actually fouled the ball off and did that yesterday over the third base dugout. That one up about 5 rows.
You notice the beer cup still full.
That's right. That's some skill. To not spill the beer and catch the bat that's helicoptering toward you.
It's a great day. Pirate jersey, cold one, Major League bat.
One out, Cervelli at second base. Polanco love to get him in. And Polanco strikes out for the third time today. He's 0 for 4, and there are 2 men out for the Pirates in the 8th. Oscar now will face Neil Walker. Walker to bat right-handed for the first time today. 0 for 3 lefty. In the air to right center field. This one is going back. That one's going to the wall. Around third is Cervelli. He will score, and in with a run-scoring double is Neil Walker.
Boy, does that feel good. Anything you can tack on right now is golden. Still in business, and that helps a lot.
11th double for Walker, his 13th RBI, and he's 1 for 4 today. Cervelli comes across the Pirates' second run.
You cannot split the gap any better than this. Nice pitch to hit, and he didn't miss it. You have to chase that one down. That was good, and it left the bat.
Now McCutchen to get out of the way of that pitch. One ball and no strikes. Montero with the block. A.J. Burnett, first time for him to work at least 7 innings without allowing a run since doing so last year for the Phillies against the Giants in late July. And he went 8 innings, allowing 4 hits and no runs.
Walked a bunch today, worked around that because there were not too many hits issued. Also walked a bunch when he had his no-hitter several years ago.
Walked
9 with a no-hitter. The pitch count was probably pretty significant.
AJ's ERA today, by the way, after those numbers he put up.
Let me guess. I'm going to guess 131 or 231. 131. 131.
He started at 160.
Yeah, 131.
He's down to 138.
Call me a liar for 7 points.
138 in ERA.
That is
have to be the lowest in the league.
Terrific.
Well, yeah, that's the lowest by a little bit in the league. Zach Greinke started the day for the Dodgers at 152, leading in earned run average, but now Burnett has pulled into the league lead in that category. Shelby Miller today. Forgot about Shelby. 8 2/3 a no-hitter against the Marlins. He's at 133, so AJ's just behind Shelby Miller. But still, that's minuscule as far as an earned run average goes. That's the third pitch inside on Andrew. 2 of them were in the dirt. That one just way inside.
There'll be some calls to Bob Gibson. The way some of these guys are going.
Marte looking to get in the offense today. He's 0 for 3. 2 outs, 3 balls, and a strike. And Neil Walker, the runner at second base.
With all the room for a lead that he could possibly want.
Ball 4. Kutch kind of tosses the bat aside, not happy. Wanted a chance to hit. Well, the Pirates with 2 on and 2 out.
Rossi wants to come out. Got to tell you, Tim, way back in the day, again, another Wrigley story that I forgot. Down by the Pirates on deck circle, back in the day, Pat Piper, beloved man, used to sit down there with a bag of balls. He got the balls out to the umpire, and he had a microphone. And he had a very clipped delivery, and he would announce the batteries, batteries, today's game. Jenkins pitch, Hundley catch, and he had that kind of delivery. And then we mentioned this on the air, but I'm going to mention it anyway. One day, all you heard was from our dugout, attention, attention, please. The fans in the right field stands, please remove their clothing from the railing. Wonderful pause by Pat Piper. He was a beloved man. He was here till he was very, very old-timer. And they loved him. He sat right down there with that leather ball bag.
Right by the dugout.
And had his own little microphone. He didn't do all the PA stuff. He had his own microphone. Pat Piper. Another Wrigley character.
Pause at just the perfect moment.
Yeah, just gave it enough.
2 on, 2 out. Marte chases one. The perfect kind of day for him to get one up in the jet stream in left field, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. You don't need much. There's been a lot of issues now with Montero receiving pitches from Roscoe to Andrew and now to Marte. It's been busy around home plate this whole weekend.
Up and 2 now to Marte. Marte does a good job against lefties. Seeing Roscoe here, he thought maybe this would be his opportunity to get into the offense. At Wrigley Field, last 7 games at Wrigley, coming into today, 11 for 31.
You ever count how many pitches were thrown in Friday's game?
It was in the 260s, I believe, or 280s for the Pirates, or 500. Nothing in 2 to Marte.
Count the pitches, the times that catchers got injured, umpires got injured.
They're all about the same.
Busy, very busy.
Oh, and 2 to Marte. Roscoe delivers. Another
busy back
59-footer. Montero has been playing more goalie than catcher with Roscoe out there.
All some high fastballs.
The Cubs bench with 3 guys on it. They've already used 2 of them. They carry 3 catchers, Ross and Wellington Castillo. They'll be making a roster move, you think, tomorrow on the day off, or perhaps Tuesday. Cubs head out to San Diego. They're going out a day early. Normally, with a day off, teams would travel on the off day.
They're going tonight.
They're going tonight. Joe Madden wants them to get acclimated to the time zone.
So it's too nice out there to waste a whole day.
Well, that's what we've been told. It is San Diego, after all. Pretty nice town. So they're going to go out a day early and spend the day off in San Diego tomorrow. Pirates, meantime, will have a day off at home. There's 496 pitches in the game Friday. Just about 500. It's a lot of pitches in one game. The 2-2 from Roscoe. Marte fouls it off again. Brian Schlitter is warming up. He was called up yesterday from AAA. Faced 2 batters, gave up 2 hits. Well, Madden came, got him. And out there warming up right now. Marte hits a hard shot past Castro. Here comes Walker in to score. Around second and to third is McCutcheon, and sliding in safely with a double is Starling Marte. It's 3-0.
And you cannot hit that ball much harder. That ball was not that far away from Castro. It just got by him like a laser. That ball was tattooed.
RBI number 26 for Marte. He leads the team.
Love it. Score a bunch. Guarantee this thing for AJ.
It was just a matter of time before he got the barrel on when he fouled off so many of them.
The ball's hit hard. Good hustle. Look at that front foot on the base. You don't overslide. You don't have any issues with where the tag is.
Well, second and third. McCutchen at third. Marte at second. And Jung Ho Kang at the plate. He is 1 for 3. Ball bouncing up the line. McCutchen not going anywhere. Two outs, top of the 8th inning. Pirates with a couple of insurance runs. Wouldn't mind a couple more. And the 1-0 to Jung Ho. Inside again, it's low. 2 balls, no strikes. Schlitter is ready. He needs to be called upon. Left-handed batter on deck, though, with Pedro Alvarez in the on-deck circle. 3-13 with runners in scoring position this season for Jung Ho Kang. 3-0. To Jung Ho Kang. Zach Roskop. The stretch and the pitch. And that is ball 4 up high, and the bases are full of Bucks.
Still no move by Joe.
He's probably going to let Roskop pitch to Pedro. Left on left matchup. Pedro should do something here. That would be it for Roskop, with Harrison coming up next.
Delivering his 30th pitch of the inning.
320 over his career with the bases loaded. Pretty good pitch right there. There's a slider.
It's a Browns cheer for the crowd.
Pedro's probably hunting the fastball. I don't know if he'll get one. That was one, but it was up high. Touching down there at third base. Starling Marte at second. Jung Ho Kang is at first. Top of the 8th inning. Pirates with 2 runs in, looking for more. Oh, strike on the corner. Ball and 2 strikes to Alvarez. Just off the plate, but close enough, apparently. And Pedro strikes out. Pirates leave him loaded, but they pick up 2 runs on 3 hits. It's 3-0. brought to you by Miller Lite. Starling Marte coming up with a big hit. Neil Walker also. Both plating runs. In the 8th inning.
Nadir Watson on to work for the Pirates, working on a string of 10 straight scoreless appearances. I don't know if you're going to see a better 8th inning man than Tony Watson in baseball.
Facing Addison Russell. Pop back into their second deck. Strike one. Sean Rodriguez remains in the game, playing first base. Alvarez is out, and Tony Watson goes into Pedro's spot in the batting order as part of the double switch. 1-1 to Russell. Russell, then Dexter Fowler and Jonathan Herrera. Scheduled hitters for the Cubs in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Watson trying to hold him here in the 8th. Russell hits one well to left field. Marte on the run, and he won't get it. It's off the wall. Marte guns it to second base, and Russell is safe, just getting under the tag of Neil Walker. What a throw by Marte from the wall.
And safe only because the throw was a little bit on the right field side of Neil. He had to go out and get it and bring it back. If it's on the money, that's got a chance. That was unloaded from the warning track. He can't quite get at it, but he makes it interesting. See how far he has to go. Now the turn, that is a nice rhythm. That's body control right there, and that close.
And to get the ball there that quickly on a guy who runs pretty well like Russell.
He really turned it on from first to second. I think he probably wished he'd have turned it on a little bit earlier. But that's fun to watch.
Fowler batting right-handed. They go to first base, take the out there. Russell was a long way off of second base. But the Pirates interested in outs right now. They got one with Fowler grounding out.
Fun to watch Marte throw, isn't it? It really is. So here's the first out.
See, I think they might have had a play at second if there was a shortstop or second baseman a little closer. Maybe Tony throws it. But
maybe. But with 3 runs instead of 1, buy yourself that out. They're going to get it to you. Yeah.
They need outs. A strike called to Herrera. And in the grand scheme of things, Russell's run doesn't mean anything right now. Get the outs. 5 more of them. It's inside 1-1.
Tony's interesting to watch from that angle and back him, because when he gets ready to deliver, he kind of goes down a little bit, and then he's almost pushing the ball uphill a little bit. There have been pitchers that have that style where they're kind of looks like they're pitching a little bit uphill by the time they deliver. Sid Fernandez for the Mets, a very good pitcher like that. Jim Deshaies pitched like that, and then you wind up being kind of a guy with a low delivery, but then kind of a lot of high fastballs because you're coming back up a little bit. Whatever he does, it's been really good.
Herrera came in to replace Chris Bryant after the 4th inning. Bryant under the weather, we were told by the Cubs. He's not feeling well, so he left the game. And this one up in the air, foul down the right side. Mark Melanson is shadow pitching right now, getting loose.
Yeah, you really want to put a good finish on this, because this has been a good baseball game, especially by Burnett. The defense has been rock solid, a couple times spectacular. Little insurance run. They played a very good baseball game to this point.
1-2. Cisco Cervelli going out to talk to Tony Watson, say, let's try something else. Keeps fouling that pitch off, almost to the same spot at Wrigley Field. upper deck on the first base side.
That's what can happen to high fastballs. You just real quick get them and get the bottom half of the ball with contact.
And a foul off to the right.
You get 95 miles an hour. I mean, that's high heat. That's a good example of guys staying with their strength today, pitching. They're just not giving in because the wind's blowing out to let it approach it differently, turn the ball over, a lot of sinkers. I think it's time for Tony to wind up and not throw the ball. Hold on to it. See if it's out there early. That's still.
He's got to throw it. It's in the rules.
I know. And
he'd like to miss his bat, that's for sure. Russell, a runner at second base, a leadoff double, 1 out. And the 1-ball, 2-strike pitch now to Jonathan Herrera. In the air to left, and Marte can play this one. 2 outs. Well, Steve is here filling in for Bob Walk. He at a wedding this week, and there's his son Ronnie. Married yesterday. Beautiful bride.
congratulations.
Congratulations to the Walk family. It's the 3rd and final Walk boy that's been married off now.
Yep. Congratulations all the way around. Great day.
Yep. Lori, the proud mom, and of course Tommy and Johnny, the brothers.
And proud papa.
Excited.
And now it's party time.
Left on left.
Reception.
Oh, that you're talking about that.
Yeah, probably. I hope
it's not a party time when he comes to the plate.
No.
It's 0 for 2 today, though. I was trying to find a way to keep him off the bases. He's been on base every game against the Bucks so far. 1-0 pitch to Rizzo. Inside. Rizzo hits lefties like he hits righties. Not much difference in his splits.
Really making a name for himself, Mr. Rizzo.
And it's 3-0. You'd say, well, first base open, pitch around him, but no, that brings up the tying run. Castro's on deck. So that's not what Tony's doing here. He's trying to get a strike here and get Rizzo out. And he's got the strike. He needs another. He did walk it, and that's not good news. The tying run now will come to the plate with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. Starlin Castro to face Tony Watson. The good news is that Tony Watson's done a nice job against Starlin Castro. Castro is 0 for 7 in his career against Watson. Two on for the Cubs. 2 outs. And Watson's first pitch to Castro. Strike 1.
Not started out with a fastball. Came off the fastball a little bit.
Castro's base hit came in the 4th inning. And he hits one to center field right at McCutchen. Andrews got it, and the Cubs strand 2. Good day out there in the outfield for Andrew McCutchen. We're headed to the 9th inning in Chicago. McCutcheon's been a soldier in the outfield at Civil Twilight, performing at Stage AE May 28th. Top of the 9th inning. 3 runs on 8 hits for the Pirates, no runs on 4 hits for the Cubs. And Joe Madden has gone to the bullpen as the Pirates will send up Josh Harrison. Bottom part of the order, 7, 8, 9. And Brian Schlitter on to work for the 2nd day in a row after his recall from AAA Iowa. Faced 2 batters yesterday and gave up 2 hits. Pitched in the 8th inning. Marte had a single off of him, and Jung Ho Gung a double down the left field line. Josh Harrison takes a strike.
Tony Watson gets himself a large out. It stays 3-0.
1 ball and 1 strike. Yeah, Starlin Castro is now 0 for 8 in his career against Tony Watson. Elementary, of course. Strike called. Ball and 2 strikes. Anderson is 1 for 3 against Brian Schlitter. And Mark Melanson getting loose.
Nothing wrong with getting a couple more. Adding a point or 2.
Yeah, you want to have a happy flight home after a long road trip.
Yeah, this has been a rough weekend. That thing that was called a baseball game on Friday, and then a disappointing Saturday, but this could be a very satisfying Sunday.
Plus the Pirates splitting with the Phillies prior to this series. After winning the first 2 games, they lost the second 2. They lost the first 2 here, so 4 in a row. Pirates trying to end that skid here. Also, they would get A.J. Burnett a win if they can hang on today. High chopper, Herrera. The play, and he gets Harrison.
They needed 1 more bounce to make it interesting. The ball stayed up there.
Well, there's 1 out for the Pirates in the 9th. After today's game, the Pirates return home. They'll be back at PNC Park Tuesday when they face the Minnesota Twins and open a 2-game set. Coverage Tuesday starts at 6:30 with Pirates pregame presented by W.B. Mason. Who but W.B. Mason present the pregame show?
Spent a lot of time with them on that strike zone grid today.
Yes. Cervelli's 2 for 3. Broke the ice in the 5th inning with an RBI single, scoring Harrison with the first run of the game. The Bucks up 1-0.
His batting average nudging up there toward 300.
Yeah, how about that? 293 right now. No home runs, 9 runs batted in.
You need to give him about 4 or 5 starts without getting beat up and back at home plate.
Big cut. Well, so far, being back at Wrigley Field, Steve, I know that you've seen a lot of different things that have gone on here during your playing days. What stands out to you now that you're back here?
Well, the fact that they've got these big boards up. I mean, you can't deny that. The thing that jumps out at you the minute you come up out of the tunnel or look at it from this angle up here. I'm a traditionalist. I know why they do things, but I don't have to like it all that much. So baseball from the
bullpen. Well, this morning, Steve, we got the chance to get out on the pitcher's mound, and you told me that was the first time you'd stood on that mound since 1973.
And I felt good. You know, if you have like 40 years rest between starts, you should be okay.
You should be rested by now.
Yeah, I was ready to go. Yeah, any ball. But yeah, it's It's still a little tingle when you step out of a dugout and go over the line up to a major league pitcher's mound.
Two and two to Francisco. And Cervelli, one hopper down to Castro. There are two gone for the Pirates in the ninth.
Well, really happy. This is one of my favorite cities to be here. I'm glad it worked out that Bob was able to stay home for the weekend for the wedding. I mean, it was just right. It fit perfectly. I've enjoyed the weekend, and I'd say not nearly as much as Bob enjoyed his. So good stuff.
We'll see Bob again on Tuesday, PNC Park.
I get a chance to come back in June.
Yep, the White Sox series.
Right? Trip. Rock has got some stuff going on that I can help him with. It's great.
Oh, throw a little bit high, but Rizzo able to hang on. Pirates 3 ground ball outs in the top of the 9th inning. They go in order. Mark Melancon to try to save this one for A.J. Burnett. 3-0 Pirates as we head to the bottom of the 9th. Comes Mark Melancon on, looking for a save. He's got 8 of them in 9 opportunities this year. It's his 18th appearance. Opposition hit at .292 against Mark. They're looking for 3 outs. 3 outs and get on the bus. Wrigley Field on a Sunday afternoon. We've had very good weather here this weekend. Another warm day today in the upper 70s. Touched 80 yesterday. And when we come back in September, those stands will be done, and there'll be more bodies in here. Yesterday they packed in the largest crowd this year, better than 38,000. Cub fans putting the rally caps on.
Well, Friday they used bubblegum containers for their rally caps.
Right.
Somehow, some way it worked.
Miguel Montero leads off. It'll be Montero, then Jorge Soler, Chris Coghlan.
Nice to see that Montero's not representing a tying run. The insurance was picked up.
Won the count to Montero. He had a base hit in the second inning, was doubled off after Coghlan hit the ball to center field. He's walked and struck out. Strike 2. Off-speed pitch from Mark. Wind hasn't been a factor that much, as much as we thought it might be today.
That's a credit to pitchers.
You see some blue skies up there, so no rain in the area right now. And that's a strikeout.
Couldn't help.
Terrell went around, and he strikes out for the second time. One out in the bottom of the ninth.
Like one of those self-defense swings that the ball's coming at you. You take the body and the bat with you. Well, just the bat.
So important to get that first guy. Mark retires the first man. Strike one to Jorge Soler.
And I will go back to the at-bat where A.J. Burnett struck out Soler, and they had a lot of noise going on. Bases loaded, one out. I thought that was maybe the item of the ball game.
Strike two on a foul ball.
Got to Soler on the strikeout, and then Coghlan threw out to left field, leaving the bases loaded. Huge circle around that sequence.
0-2 to Jorge Soler. And Melanson deals. Just on the inside part. Two is in the dirt. Melanson pitched 2 innings on Friday. First time he's worked 2 innings in a game since he did it on the 5th of September last year here at Wrigley Field. And yesterday he was available for the game, but Clint told me that he wasn't going to use Tony Watson or Mark Melanson unless the Pirates were ahead in the game. So they ended up not appearing anyway, and they had the day off.
The breaking ball that might have been a high strike had a chance to be called. It's not where you want to throw that breaking ball. He might have gotten away with it. It would have been a big deal to get that call.
Payoff pitch from Melanson to Jorge Soler.
Big deal getting by him without having something happen.
Ground ball left side, backhanded by Jung Ho. Strong throw, and it pulled Rodriguez off the bag.
Nice play on the backhand side, and the accurate throw would have got him.
The throws that we've seen him make, especially from third base, have been very, very accurate this year. This is the first one he's had that's been off target.
The ball sharply hit. That's why he was going to have time to make the play, even though he had to go get it on that side. And there you see first base vacated. Sean goes up, comes down late.
Error charge to Jung Ho. Chris Coghlan takes a strike. 1 out, 1 on. And we get another ground ball right to him, and it'll be the redeemer to end the ball game. One and one. Coglan's 0 for 3, average down to 187.
See if Mark can pick up his shortstop.
One and one. A looper into center field and a base hit. And Coghlan aboard, 2 men on, and the tying run will come to the plate.
Something we didn't want to see, but here it is.
Well, it's the backup catcher, Wellington Castillo. He is the final position player available. You know, we have seen Joe Madden use a pitcher, Travis Wood, to pinch hit. He's a pretty good hitter. And he did appear Friday as a pinch hitter.
Certainly not going to use him here at this point, but yeah, that would be consideration. Certainly, if things get crazy, we don't want to get it to that point.
Well, with that base hit, the Cubs get some activity in the bullpen going too.
The door has been opened.
167, the average for Castillo.
Outs number 25, 26, and 27. So many times, just don't come easy.
Castillo 2 for 7 against Melanson. Mark checks the runners. And time was called.
All Cub fans want a ball call.
A lot of fans didn't see the time was called.
Right.
They just saw him stop. Ball on to Castillo. Castillo started Friday's game behind the plate.
Let's get that ground ball. You got a catcher running. Double play candidate. Or any kind of out. Doesn't have to be fancy at this point.
That's a strike. 1-1. Soler going back to second base, taking his time too. Back to first base is Coghlan. In the air to right field, Polanco drifting back. Polanco on the track, he makes the catch for the second out.
Doesn't have to be fancy. I'm glad that ball wasn't to right center field. Because the right field, left field corridors are the go zones. That slid to the right of that toward a further set of bricks. And speed of Polanco runs it down. We can breathe again. We can breathe again.
One more out to go.
Yep.
Batter is Addison Russell. He doubled in the 8th off Watson. First and third, 2 down. Ball 1. Shadow starting to creep out onto the field. One and one. Over 30,000 umpires here, I guess. Just barely got that.
Okay, yeah.
Pitcher's pitch.
So
right?
many pitches around those edges.
Now the Cubs are down to their final strike today. One and two to Addison Russell.
Get Ringo Starr out here to sing it. Don't come easy.
It doesn't. Hard to win a major league game. One, two. Top part of the master for Cervelli.
Russell knows the situation. He took a home run swing at that ball. Fouled back. That wasn't for just a punch shot to right field. He was trying to get the Cubs even.
The guy who normally would go up with a 2-strike approach. The wind blowing as it is. Go 1-2 again. Ground ball. Jay Hayes got it. They'll go the short way, and that's your ball game right there. Pirates end a 4-game skid. Melanson picks up the save. A.J. Burnett, his 3rd win. An outstanding day for Burnett.